In Los Angeles, I'm Colin Risdon. Wednesday, today, the 8th of April. Good as always to have you along, everybody. At the risk of being that guy, I'm going to be that guy. Yes, there is talk now from actual responsible people about when this economy might be able to restart again, however slowly. And the stock market, insert appropriate caveats here, is feeling it. But look, there is real damage being done to the labor market, as we have been telling you, to small businesses by the tens or hundreds of thousands, and to bigger things too. Global trade, for just one example. The World Trade Organization is out with a report today that says global trade in merchandise, basically stuff being shipped from one country to another, is going to fall this year anywhere from 13 to 32%. The WTO's Director General, a guy by the name of Roberto Acevedo, called those numbers ugly, which seems kind. Marketplace's Mitchell Hartman is on the Global Trade Deterioration Desk today.
Does it even matter if global trade falls by double digits this year? After all, as Columbia economist Sharon O'Halloran points out,
the U.S. is one of the more insulated countries from international trade.
Only about 30% of the domestic economy is directly connected to trade. But O'Halloran says companies that make planes, consumer electronics, and cars have an outsized impact on how much and how fast the U.S. economy can recover.
Our ability to bring in the supplies, reignite assembling in autos and so forth requires inputs that are built abroad.
And if a major economy like the European Union's can't ship and sell its goods abroad,
it's going to have a hard time buying our goods.
Global supply chains have already been massively disrupted, says economist Mary Lovely at the Peterson Institute. First, factories shut down across Asia. Now they're reopening while Europe and North America are still shut down. So goods aren't moving off shelves and ports aren't moving goods out to sea.
And it's basically gumming up the works. We expect that we're going to see canceling of entire routes. And this is particularly going to hit trade between North America and Asia.
Those disruptions are hitting Driscoll's Berries, a worldwide fruit importer and exporter. Its business has fallen by at least 15%, says President Soren Bjorn.
We rely heavily on air freight, and a lot of times we fly in the bellies of passenger planes. Well, obviously a lot of those planes are no longer flying, and so now we are left with a few cargo planes, which tend to be very, very expensive.
Bjorn says he's confident that if consumers recover their jobs and incomes, his company's berry sales will eventually rebound as well. I'm Mitchell Hartman for Marketplace.
A lot of the stuff that gets traded globally is either steel, as in raw steel, or made out of steel, which puts us of a mind to call our steel person who is trying to run her company in a pandemic after trying to run her company in the middle of a trade war. Lisa Goldenberg is the president of the Delaware Steel Company. Lisa, it's good to talk to you again.
Great to speak with you, Kai.
So first of all, how are you?
I'm doing okay. I think here in the east, my county, which is Montgomery County, where I both work and live, we were one of the first counties in the country to completely just shut everything down after, I guess, Washington and New Rochelle. So we're old hat at this already.
I understand you've got like all your kids are home too and their spouses. I mean, it's like you're running a little WeWork there or something, right?
Right. I do call it our own little WeWork. One of my daughters is actually an executive at WeWork, so she's showing us how to get it done. And we have our own spaces, and people walk in and out, and it's definitely different. And much of it is really good. It's stressful and it's trying and it's difficult, but it's very, very cool.
Yeah, for sure. Do you feel like you have a grasp on the industry and your part in it right now, right? Because there's so many moving parts.
Right. I think that's the hardest part. My communication with my employees is really good, and I think their morale is decent. I'm a national company, coast to coast, North America. And this country is so spread out right now with its response to the virus. I am speaking with people in Arkansas that are literally business as usual. And I'm not being overly, finger pointing or disparaging. Let their governor worry about them. But I've got other people that haven't gone near their plant in 3 weeks, and I've got people who are shipping every day, and so it's very difficult to have a handle on anything. If a customer places an order and they're in a state that isn't as proactive or responsive or active within the virus reality, then they think they're taking delivery. They'll give you a date of next Tuesday. They may not be realizing that on Monday they could be shut down. So it's very difficult to operate without a uniform experience. It's different from state to state, county to county, and industry to industry.
What does that tell you then about what a recovery, when it comes, because it is going to come, but what does that tell you about what the recovery is going to look like?
I think the recovery is going to be just as bumpy and uncertain. Everyone's talking about what does coming up and starting again look like, and my point to everyone is we'll come up with a protocol on how to start again, of course, and hopefully soon. However, I think the new reality is going to look like an up-down experience. I think that you're going to, God willing, get back to work, and then you're going to have to shut down very quickly. You're going to have a surge in your area, or a member, God forbid, of your team becomes ill and you have to handle everyone on site. Because until we have what they're calling herd immunity, and until we have vaccines and all that, the new normal is going to be an up, down, up, down. It's not going to be a straight line.